Hi, Bill. John Kennedy here.
Good afternoon. You should be able to hear me, I think.
Yeah.
All right. And we said we'd turn on the camera, so let me do that. As soon as I convince... Here we go. Okay, you should now... There, I should be on the camera. You should be able to see me at this point. Isn't that exciting?
Yay!
Oh my goodness, the girls are all on Twitter.
So, I'll start. Mary Frances asked me to start by providing just a little bit of background, so I'll go ahead and do that. I've been writing about technology for quite a while. Started with WTVN Radio's Technology Corner, mid-'80s through sometime in 2006, I believe it was. And since then, it's been TechBiter Worldwide, a weekly blog and podcast. I have been at club meetings there previously. Wasn't able to get there today. There was a time problem that kept me from coming to Newark, so we decided to give Skype a try and see how this works out. Maybe the start of something entirely new. The topic today is going to be low-cost and free applications. I really have never failed to be amazed by just how many applications there are out there at either very low cost or free. And there's no question that what you get when you buy a commercial software, a piece of commercial software, you're probably going to get a lot more features than you get in a free application, but that's not always true. Sometimes what you get in a free program is enough. Sometimes what you get in a free program is more than enough, and sometimes what you get in a free program is actually more than what you'd get from some of the commercially available programs. During this talk, I will mention some applications in various categories, tell you a little bit about each one of them. If you'd like more information, you can find it on the TechBiter Worldwide website, TechBiter, TechByter.com. And there are links there to be able to download all of the applications that I'll mention today. I feel compelled to toss in at least one minor warning, though. There are some software repositories. These are places where you go to download free and low-cost applications. Some of these places will add bloatware to their installer programs. So it's really important when you install a piece of software, and I think this is true whether it's a piece of software you paid for or whether it's one that's free. You go to the custom installation option. Don't just select the defaults or the recommended options. Go to the advanced installation options and then read each little piece of that very carefully, because most of these will tell you when they're going to install something that you may not want, and just turn that off. But even if one of these slips through, in virtually every case, it's simply adware, stuff that can be annoying, usually pretty easy to get rid of. In fact, there are some free programs that will help you get rid of things like that. Very rarely do you ever get a piece of actual malware installed through these things. It's usually just something that'll provide ads to you that you don't really want. So with that warning out of the way, we'll get started. Some of the applications actually originated as Linux programs, and they've been ported either to Windows or to Mac or both. So the applications, some of them run on Windows, Apple, and Linux operating systems. Some will run on just Linux and Windows, or Linux and Apple operating systems. And there are some that I'll talk about that are actually just Windows only. And I wanted to organize this into kind of I think these are programs you have to have, and then the rest of the list will be things that are just kind of nice to have. Adobe Reader is one of those that's in the essential category, and you may already have Adobe Reader on your computer. In fact, you probably already do, but Adobe recently released a new version of Acrobat. It's called Acrobat DC, which stands for Document Cloud, not Current. There are lots of new features in there for the people who develop PDF files. So now would be a really good time to get the latest version of the Adobe Reader. And from the Reader, we go to the creator side. What do you do if you want to create a PDF? Well, you probably, unless you do this on a daily basis, you don't want to spend the money to get the Adobe application. But a lot of the Microsoft applications have a save to PDF function. You can use that. But if you're using an older version of one of the Microsoft products, or you have a program that doesn't have a save to PDF option, as long as you can print from the program, you can make a PDF from it. There are programs that allow you to do that. The one that I recommend is called PDF Creator. It creates a PDF printer, a virtual printer, and anytime you print a document to that virtual printer, what you get is a PDF document. So that's kind of the recommendation for creating PDF files. And I think everybody needs a password manager. There are lots of those around. If you don't have a password manager and you don't have a system for keeping track of your passwords, and you're using the same password for your bank account as your email account, as for Facebook, there will be a day sometime when you will regret that, because somebody will get your Facebook password and they will apply it to your bank, which is not going to be a good thing. So there are lots of password managers. My favorite happens to be one called LastPass. It's available for free. I have a paid version of it. The paid version costs me the large sum of about $1 a month. And there are enough features in there to make that $1 a month be well worthwhile. But if you want just the free version, it is a very robust, secure, and easy to use application. If you're somebody who likes to modify Windows, there's a program called the Ultimate Windows Tweaker. And a lot of times the things that you might want to change are hidden. They're somewhere down low in 43 layers of menus, or they're in the registry. Well, the Ultimate Windows Tweaker starts by showing you some basic information about the computer. It shows the operating system version, the build, the system type, what the processor is, how much RAM's in the computer, stuff like that. But then you get into the ability to do some modifications that you don't have to dig through menus, and you don't have to go to the registry. You can change user account information, performance. There are some performance changes you can make. Security changes, Internet Explorer tweaks, and each time this program makes a tweak, it will make it essentially forces you to do a system backup so that you won't end up breaking something. Speaking of broken, I recommend that you don't limit yourself to a broken browser, and that's essentially what Internet Explorer is. You may already know that Windows 10, when it comes out, is going to have a new browser. The browser is called Edge, and it has some pretty exciting new features in it. But even then, I think you're still going to want to have at least a couple of other browsers on the machine, just for good measure. Mozilla Firefox and Google Chrome are the two that I think pretty much everybody ought to have. There are some others out there, but those are the two that you really want to have. If you happen to download something and get something installed that you don't want, there are some applications that are essential to safe and secure computing and will help you get rid of things that you don't want on the computer. The three that I recommend are called CCleaner, the C there standing for crap. There's Malwarebytes, Anti-Malware Free, and Spybot Search and Destroy. Some of those have only free versions. Some have paid versions. I opted to get the paid version of Malwarebytes simply because the paid version adds some features that I thought were kind of important, automatic updates being one of them. But again, if you choose to go with just the free version, you're going to get a very powerful application, and particularly Malwarebytes and the Spybot Search and Destroy folks, if you run into a problem and you need help fixing it, they have a very robust online help system. Another thing that a lot of people will run into, you go to delete a file and you get a message, this file has been used by another program. Well, a lot of times you can just reboot the computer and that problem goes away, but sometimes you'll get a lock that is actually persistent through a reboot. And you want to delete the file, but you can't get rid of it. There are a couple of programs I recommend that will help you with that. One is called Unlocker, the other is Lock Hunter. I have generally used Unlocker, but I've started in the past couple of weeks to take a look at Lock Hunter just to see if it might offer some additional features. So far I don't see anything extra, but it just, it has a slightly different interface, and one might be better from your standpoint than the other. So take a look at both of those next time you have something that you want to delete the file and you're not being allowed to delete the file. So those are essentially the list of the you got to have these applications. And the rest of the list fits kind of under, well, these aren't essential, but maybe they're useful or maybe they're fun. They're just things that I've found at least useful for me. There's no shortage of free image viewers. The ones that I tend to go to are Faststone and IrfanView, but I encountered a new one called XNView. Might also be worth a look. Somebody sends you an image in an email, you want to take a look at it. These are good programs that allow you to do that. And if you use Windows Explorer, you want to move a file from one place to another. One problem with Windows Explorer is that it has only a single pane. You can make a second pane. It's easy enough to open a second instance of Windows Explorer and do that. But I use a program called Qt. I've been using it for several years, and I use it because it provides 2 or 3 or 4 actual panes, if whatever you happen to want to use, 2, 3, or 4. And that makes moving files around extremely easy. If you do anything with vector graphics, the kind of thing that you might use Adobe Illustrator for or CorelDRAW for, there's a free program called Inkscape. We'll do some really nice vector graphics for you. These are great for newsletters and things like that. Doesn't have all the features that you'd find in Illustrator, of course. Doesn't have all the features you'd find in Draw, but it's more than adequate for a lot of features. Along the same line, there are word processing, spreadsheet, and data management. Microsoft Word, of course, has been out there, and you can usually get some pretty good deals on it that allow you to install it perhaps on multiple machines for a relatively low price. But if you don't want to pay anything at all, Apache OpenOffice is a good choice. There was OpenOffice. It split off and became LibreOffice, and now Apache has taken over the OpenOffice code. And there was kind of a migration from OpenOffice to LibreOffice. It looks like the migration is kind of going back toward OpenOffice now that Apache has hold of it. Apache are the people, is the project, I should say, that creates the Linux functions that run most of the World Wide Web. There are lots of book readers out there. You can get, of course, the Kindle book reader if you happen to have a Kindle account, an Amazon account. You can get the Kobo reader if you have a Kobo account. There's a Barnes & Noble reader. One that I think pretty much everybody ought to add is the Calibra reader. If you do that, Calibra will allow you to convert from one file format to another. And when you do that, you're able to read a book that was provided in one reader's format on another reader, or read it on your computer, even if you're not using the standard reader for that. Media players are kind of an important thing for me. There's the VLC media player. It's primarily considered a video player, but it also works with audio files. If you have a lot of audio files, then you probably want something that's a little more robust in the audio area. MediaMonkey, I think, is a good choice there. It's certainly better than the iTunes player. The iTunes player, in my opinion, doesn't even work very well on an Apple computer, and it certainly doesn't work at all well, in my estimation, on a Windows computer. MediaMonkey, I think, is a better choice. And if you want to do your own audio recording, you want to record yourself, or you want to record some music, or you want to record a podcast, and you don't want to pay for an application that's such as Adobe Audition, there is a program called Audacity. It has been around for a long time, and it offers a lot of very robust features for recording. Another thing that I found pretty useful, if you're looking for a file on a computer, the computer I use has a lot of disk drives. I have a lot of stuff on this computer. And the cheaper disk space gets, the more disk drives we have, the more stuff we have on them, the harder it is to find things, no matter how you organize them. Recently, I encountered a program called Everything, and even though the Windows search tool continues to improve, I think Everything might be a better choice. After installing Everything, one of the things that I decided to see if I could find on my computer, I wonder if there were any files that had to do with alligators. So I typed in alligator, and it came back with, yes, a whole bunch of files that have something to do with alligators. I have no idea why. I have to go look and see what's out there. If you're waiting anxiously for Windows 10 and its support, native support for virtual desktops, you can add that feature to Windows right now. Now, virtual desktops is a feature that's been around in Macs and Linux systems for a long time. It hasn't really been available for Windows except as an add-on, and it is still available as an add-on with a program called DexPot. It allows you to create up to 20 monitor workspaces, and you might do that because you'd set up one of those workspaces with your work files, another one with maybe your browser, a third one with an audio player or some other stuff or some games that you play, and you can flip back and forth. You don't have to have everything on a single screen. Each screen is sparsely populated with just a few applications you want there, and you can pop back and forth from one to the other. I hear from time to time, can I replace Photoshop or PaintShop Pro with something that's free? And my answer to that question has and continues to be no, at least for me. GIMP, or the GIMP as it's actually called, is a really powerful graphics application for Linux. It has been ported to both Apple systems and to Windows systems. And even though it's powerful, I've never been able to make it my friend. But if you're looking for something that you want to do the kinds of things you do in Photoshop, do take a look at the GIMP. It's really pretty impressive. That's largely my list of the gotta have and the nice to have applications. What I'd like to do now is just go ahead and open it up to questions. Again, as a reminder, at TechByter, TechByter.com, you will find download links for all of these applications that I've mentioned, and actually a few more, and some other stuff. And if you'd like, you can subscribe there to the free newsletter that comes out every week on a Sunday. So I'll turn it back to you guys and see if there are any questions at this point.
Dave Clement.
Go ahead, Matt.
I have a piece of paper with the name Bill Glenn and the website techbyter.com, so you won't have to remember it. You can also go and, as he just told you, you can go and subscribe to his newsletter if you like, or I found out if you go there and look at the home page, you could go back to 2008 and read subjects in the newsletters that he had provided. My question for today is there anything on Bill Glenn's site that lists these free apps that he is telling us today?
There is. It's actually in today's program. The timing for this program for you folks was absolutely perfect because it coincided with the program I already had planned for today. So if you go to the website, you can take a look at current program. If you go there after next Saturday, you'll need to go to the programs by year section and pull down 2015 and then select today's date. But yeah, it's there.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. How do you spell Qter?
Cuter. Okay, that's just, it's not cute like in C-U-T-E. It's just the letter Q. Q-D-I-R.
Q-D-I-R? Thank you.
Yes.
I was having trouble figuring out a word that you said. It sounds like Calibra. What is the spelling of that?
Calibra is C-A-L-I-B-R-E. I think, let me scoot back here I think it's only got the single L. but that's one that I frequently misspell, so let me find it. I guess I could just open it on my computer on the other screen and see what it tells me. Yes, one M, C-A-L-I-B-R-E.
Thank you, and I have one more. When you were talking about password manager, did you say last task?
Last pass.
Last pass?
Was it last pass?
We don't have.
Could you repeat that? The audio dropped out several times. I got about every third word.
Was it LastPass?
You were.
LastPass, L-A-S-T-P-A-S-S.
Okay.
And Unchecker. Have you heard of that, Bill?
Doesn't
Unchecked.
ring a bell right at the moment,
Unchecking.
no.
I'm sorry, Unchecker.
Unchecker.
Unchecking. ING.
No, I have not.
The admin's by default instead of checking it.
Go ahead, Max.
Bill, what it does is the program, you download it, and instead of by default having the add-ons checked, by default they're unchecked. So you need to actually check them if you want one of the add-ons.
Oh, okay, that could be kind of handy to have. I'll make a note of that and perhaps discuss that in a future program. But yeah, even if you have something like that installed, the safe way to go is always go in through the advanced, usually it's called advanced setup, and just check to make sure that it's not going to install something you don't want. Sometimes these things are very cleverly disguised. They're the things that you don't want are in very light type. Yeah, it's annoying. I understand why the freeware folks want to do that, because they have to find some way to monetize what they're doing. But yeah, it's still kind of annoying.
What is the best program to use instead of Adobe Flash, as in YouTube?
Well, there's no real replacement for Adobe Flash, although Flash is being largely eliminated. YouTube has, I think, pretty much dropped the Flash requirement, or is in the process of doing it. I don't know that that's complete yet. Flash, of course, has been a vector for malware. When Apple stopped supporting Flash at all for its portable devices, that was pretty much the last nail in its coffin. So I think we'll largely see Flash vanish within the next fairly short period, maybe within a year. You won't see it in use very much at all anymore.
YouTube is using it now on a daily basis.
Yeah, you'll still see videos that have Flash, but their intent is to, as much as possible, eliminate Flash from their offerings.
Bill, you said a PDF creator. I like to use the LibreOffice and just use the PDF creator in LibreOffice. That way you don't have I'm already using LibreOffice.
Yeah, if you're already using LibreOffice, then it's got you can read the files in there. And of course, later versions of the Microsoft product also has the ability to open a PDF.
Bill, do you have a little bit of an explanation on your website about all the links that you offer?
An explanation of the links?
A little description of what the program does or should do?
Yeah, if you take a look at today's program, you'll see kind of a description, sort of like what I was describing here. And and then there will be the link to that goes to the download location, the site where you download it from. In some cases, if it's, for example, the Adobe DC Reader, that's going to take you to the Adobe website. If it's the PDF Creator link, that's probably going to take you to one of the organizations that syndicates all of the downloads and puts them all in a single location. So there's a description of the program. In some cases, there's a screenshot of the program so you can see what it looks like. Although it's not as complete a screenshot summary as you find if you go to the developer's website. They'll usually have multiple screenshots. In my case, just because of limited real estate, I guess I have typically included just one image, or in some cases there's not an image at all.
That would be in your weekly newsletter.
Yes, you'll see all of that in this week's newsletter, the one that came out today.
Any other questions? Apparently not, Bill, so.
Okay. A pleasure coming to Newark virtually, and we'll talk with you folks later.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.